Greetings and happy holidays, everybody. My name is Ben and welcome back to the 12 Sprues of Christmas. We are here with day number 7, and I'm hoping today is going to be an awesome kit, just like last time when I built that F14. That was a really nice kit. So let's go ahead and pull out that box. And here we go, our official 12 Sprues of Christmas drawing box. And as you can see, we are halfway through the second run here. We're moving on to day number 7. I'm hoping to get something like the F14. Let's go ahead and see what we have. Punch on through there. And fish around. There it is. Okay, I've got it. Let's pull it on out and let's see what we've got. Oh, check it out. It's an FA-18 Super Hornet, also by Revell. This should be fun. So much like the F-14, we have our standard side opening Revell box, 1/144th FA-18E Super Hornet. I love the color scheme on this one. That's kind of why I chose this model to go ahead and throw into the whole mix of things here. Let's go ahead and open up that box and pull out the sprues. Now, the F-14 that I built last episode went together beautifully. It was an amazing model, and I'm hoping this one is about the same level. We've got single poly bag full of parts. We've got a very large instruction booklet here. Let's go ahead and open it up, and we have, here are our decals. Oh, look at that. Wow, the level of detail on these decals is pretty astounding. The Felix the Cat logo there on the back tail, that is really cool. They give you 2 separate ones too. That's kind of nice. Moving on to the actual instructions themselves. Yeah, they're pretty standard Revell fare. There's a lot of stuff going on each of these little panels. Just a ton of information. Moving over, we have a lot of weapons and ordnance here. We actually have 2 different selections. We have one more for ground attack and one more for air-to-air. At least that's kind of what I'm guessing here. So that's cool. We have a lot to choose from, and we can go a bunch of different directions. Probably going to lean more towards a ground attack roll because it's got some bombs on it, and that's a really cool green color. But the other one is nice too, so I don't know. Our color scheme is the pretty much standard light ghost gray over a little bit darker ghost gray. But I want to try to go ahead and paint up the black along the spine and also the red. That's going to be interesting to try that out. But moving on to the parts, guys, let's go ahead and open up our poly bag. Check out the pieces real quick. Yeah, they look nice. Go ahead and jump in and get this thing all built up. This should be fun. Alright everybody, so we have most of the parts and pieces on. I am now working on the seams. I want to go ahead and get some of these areas sanded down. The fit is pretty decent on this kit though. I want to say the F-14 is a little bit cleaner, but this is actually going together pretty well. The cockpit of course has a lot of detail for the scale, which is kind of nice, but of course you're not going to see any of it because it's just kind of walled off into that little cockpit, so that's kind of unfortunate. Using some super glue, we're going to go ahead and fix up some of these areas that need a little bit more TLC. Just a couple of drops of super glue, we'll let it dry, sand it down, file it down, we're good to go. We do have one very large seam that's right on the underside of the wing. That's going to take a little bit of time, but nothing some super glue, jeweler file, and sandpaper won't fix. Let's keep this thing rolling. my challenge here with this aircraft is I want to try to paint on some of the markings. Now, I'm not going to do the insignia or anything like that, but I want to go ahead and get that really cool black and red color scheme that it's got going on along the spine and the vertical stabilizers. So what I've done here is I've overcoated the entire area with red, and I'm going to take some Tamiya tape here, cut very thinly, and I'm going to position that about where that red line should be. Then I'll come back and I'll airbrush everything, the light ghost gray, then the darker ghost gray, and finally the black right there on the spine, and that should give us a red line plus the black spine and then the gray all around. So let's go ahead and move on to the paint and see what we can do with that. So not too shabby, everybody. As you can see here, it worked out pretty much as I was hoping. We've got the black on the spine, that thin red line right around there, and we've got our ghost gray that I've modeled a little bit with some darker gray for some panel lines. Now, it's not perfect, of course, but I think this is going to be fine for what we're doing with it. Got the tails all nicely painted up, and I've overcoated a little bit here with some tire black, which is kind of a grayish black that I can use for a little bit of subtle weathering here along that black, because otherwise it's pretty stark. Let's go ahead and install these vertical stabilizers and move on to the landing gears. So we've got some white loaded up in our airbrush. We're going to go ahead and paint the inside of all the wheelbase that white color, and we're going to get the other parts too, and get this thing standing on its feet. So with all of our wheelbase painted, all of our gears on, the wheels on, we did a little bit of detail painting, and everything is coated in a nice gloss coat of Future. So we are ready to move on to the decals. It's all nicely cured, and I'm excited to see how the decals go on. All the detail painting has been interesting, a little tedious, but I think it looks great, especially for this scale and what I'm trying to do with it. So let's move on to the decals and see how that turns out. All right, everybody, we are finished up with the FA-18 Super Hornet. This has been a very interesting build, lots of parts and pieces, but here it is. We are done. Now, I've overcoated everything here with a nice flat coat, and I think it looks pretty cool. I love how the decals turned out. I had a little bit of issue here and there with little minor things, but nothing too crazy. This was a really nice kit, very similar to the F-14. Now, I did do a little bit of work here with the black and the red. I wanted to go ahead and try to see if I couldn't paint those on, and I like how it looks. I'm happy with it. Cockpit, of course, really nice, but you can't see anything in there anyway, so it doesn't much matter. Had a little bit of trouble with some of the decals here on the side. I just accidentally spilled some paint on the decal sheet, and I had to come back and try to clean it off, and it just didn't quite clean up. But I think it looks fine. The insignia on the tail looks fantastic. I love the detail that Revell was able to print into these. They just look beautiful. I have to say, very, very impressive. And I like the fact that they give you all the different parts and pieces to that tail decal separately, so you can do what I did and you can paint them on yourself. Overall, this kit was so much fun to build. Very much like the F-14 that I built previously. Went together beautifully, and I really like this color scheme. The black with the red and all the different decals and all that. It just really kind of came together, and I'm super happy about it. So that's going to go ahead and call it quits for day 7. We're going to jump on to day 8 really quick here and see what we can do. So until next episode, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Go out there, get yourself some bench time, have some fun, build something cool, and we will see you back here on the next episode of the 12 Sprues of Christmas. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you soon.